Now we're recording.
Yeah.
Yes! As always, there's always a screw up at the beginning.
You missed the best podcast we've ever recorded.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we are... Yes, now recording. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, happy Valentine's Day.
Everybody. Happy post-Super Bowl Valentine's Day. So, of course, Valentine's Day, after the Super Bowl, we talk about everything that was, dropped, like 1,000 movie trailers and TV commercials, and you get to see the wrap-off between Morgan Freeman
and Dinklebot.
And Dinklebot, Peter Dinklage, which was actually, I have to say, that was probably my favorite commercials were the Mountain Dew and the Doritos one. It was pretty funny.
That was a pretty good one.
And the dude from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Doing the Tide commercials.
This is a Tide commercial.
This is a Tide commercial. Yeah, that was pretty good. I have to say, that was pretty inventive.
Still not the best Mountain Dew commercial.
What was the best one?
Puppy Monkey Baby.
I don't remember that one.
Oh my gosh. It was from their, I think it was their morning Mountain Dew, whatever nonsense they had for a while there. But it was a puppy face.
Okay.
On a monkey's top half of the body.
Okay.
And then a baby's bottom half, like diaper included, down. And it just kept saying Puppy Monkey Baby.
Just over and over again?
Yes.
And that was supposed to sell Mountain Dew?
It was. It was three great things combined.
Oh, okay.
Was there, yeah.
Was the Mountain Dew?
It was hilarious.
Three great flavors?
Apparently.
That eat through the line
I don't
of your
remember
stomach.
the Mountain Dew, but I remember the Puppy Monkey Baby.
And that's what good advertising does.
Exactly.
You
never want to go out and get the product.
Yeah. Well, no, but you know that was Mountain Dew. It was funny. You associate that with that, and there you go.
Didn't make me drink Mountain Dew, though.
No?
Nope.
I bet it does.
How about you have somebody on there and you say, hey, Mountain Dew's pretty good.
No. You have Morgan Freeman rapping against Peter Dinklage. That's what you do.
Yep.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
I didn't even remember that was for Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Yeah, it was, I think Morgan Freeman was Mountain Dew Ice or something, and then Peter Dinklage was Doritos Flaming Hot Doritos or something. Because I remember, everything was exploding on fire behind Peter Dinklage, and then Morgan Freeman, everything was freezing. And then Missy Elliott does his rapping, and then Busta Rhymes does Peter Dinklage.
I remember thinking, why is Busta Rhymes? Why does he sound like Dinklebot?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Exactly. So that leads right into something that happened during the Super Bowl commercials. There was a commercial for the Cloverfield paradox, which said, hey, guess what? Right after the game, you can watch the movie because we're putting it out today.
Which is awesome. Which
they had no lead up to. They had no pre-advertisement. Just dropped it right there. And I think a lot of people watched it. It's kind of trending. A lot of people have been debating about it, saying, is this really a Cloverfield movie? Does this fit into it? There's a lot of debate back and forth. Some people really like it. I watched it. I thought it was really good. Bob has not seen it, but not yet.
I'm preparing.
He is, and to do that, he's actually watched the first two movies, which are good in different ways. And rewatching them, have you come up with any new insight to them?
Well, not specifically to the first one. Aside from the fact that there were a lot of references to just J.J. Abrams stuff from throughout his little career. He always has the Slusho commercial.
The Slusho?
Slusho. It was I think it was in Lost. It was definitely in Alias. He has this weird design logo for essentially, it looks almost like a Slurpee.
Okay.
But it says Slusho. It's SLUSH-O.
Okay.
So in the first movie, one of the characters in the party at the beginning, before everything goes down, is wearing a Slusho t-shirt.
Okay.
And in the second one, which now the reason I think this is so interesting is people imply that it was never a Cloverfield movie. The second one, 10 Cloverfield Lane, was never going to be a Cloverfield movie. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where Ramona Flowers,
Yes,
or John McClane's daughter,
yes,
is pumping gas, and on the window of the gas station behind her is an ad for Slusho.
right.
Which clearly J.J. Abrams was involved, even if they try and imply he wasn't.
Yeah,
And I doubt that they went back and specifically reshot just to add that.
I think they had always intended to be a Cloverfield type movie. I think the stuff they added actually was the stuff that happened at the end of that movie. Was they added a little bit of that stuff,
Which, if anything, takes it away from being something like Cloverfield.
right?
I don't want to spoil it for anybody in case they haven't seen it, but there is a very distinct point in the movie where you would say, oh my gosh, this just took a really science fiction turn.
Right.
And there's a spot that kind of implies it at the beginning, but you're still iffy.
Yeah.
And then there's this very specific moment.
Of course.
I would say it's right where the person says, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yes. But
and that should have been the end of the original movie, is like everything that leads up to "You've got to be kidding me."
yeah. Which I love that movie. It's a very good, psychological horror movie. And all three actors in it, the main three actors in it, actually I can't think of anybody else really other than maybe some incidental characters that show up here and there.
There are 4 characters in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
That you see the faces of.
Right.
And then a 5th character, 2 more characters that you don't see the faces of. There's the voice on the radio.
Right.
And there's Bradley Cooper, who's the boyfriend that she breaks up with at the beginning.
Right.
Who tries to call her on the phone, and she doesn't talk to him.
Right.
Which, I don't know the reasoning.
Yeah, I don't either. Unless Bradley Cooper was going to be in a different movie. But,
he was.
Yeah.
It was right around the time of Guardians.
Was it?
I think it was the same summer.
Oh, wow. You know what? I think you're right. But
or it was the same year.
Yeah. I think it was the same year. But, and I'm sure somebody can correct us on that if you check it out. But I really love that movie. John Goodman does an amazing performance in that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's so good. I think that is kind of something. John Goodman is a way underrated actor. I think a lot of people go with, the comedic stuff. But he's done a lot of good, serious roles. And this is definitely one of them. I mean, I've always liked him, but, this just kind of was oh, yeah, this guy can really act. And does an amazing job.
They all do really good jobs. And
yeah.
I would say so in the first movie, too. Everybody, and those are, nobodies. And they was, I think, designed.
Yeah, definitely.
Those guys at the time were nobodies. Now, some of them are around today, because even Tim, we were talking earlier,
right,
didn't remember that the guy who plays the cameraman in the first movie is T.J. Miller, is it?
T.J. Miller. Who,
Deadpool's best friend.
That's right. The bartender in that, if you see, the Pete Holmes show Crashing, about his life as a comedian.
Silicon Valley.
I'm trying to think. He
was in Big Hero 6. I know that.
Right.
The not stoner friend.
Yes, the not the guy who was in the lizard costume, which he did an amazing job. I think he was also in How to Train Your Dragon. He played there was a brother sister who were very fighting each other all the time. I think he played the brother in that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But, man, both really good movies, completely different movies, and I don't know that they need to be linked, which leads us into the movie Tim just watched.
That's right. Which does kind of link them.
Which is a problem.
Which, a problem, maybe after you see it, maybe not so much of a problem, but I have to say, this was sci-fi horror. This definitely puts it in that realm. this was definitely what that was. This Cloverfield, the paradox. I mean, they're on a space station. It's about the particle accelerator. There's a lot of like science type stuff that's going on in, but like science fiction-y kind of science. And the actors they have are really good. Like everybody pulls like a good performance in this movie. Nobody's bad in it. And like some of the concepts in it are really out there, but not like too far out there that you're like, oh, okay, I don't believe this kind of thing could happen. It definitely makes sense, and it's good. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but good. I'd put it up there with something like a movie that I would say would be similar would be like something like Event Horizon, like that kind of movie where it's just like, the things that you can possibly experience in space that could horrify you and in a different kind of like respect or whatever. But this was definitely worth watching. I definitely would recommend it. Even if you're not a huge Cloverfield fan, it's just a good, solid movie in general.
Because when I saw the trailer,
right,
it reminded me of the movie that I think was part of the reason it got delayed.
Right.
Which was Life.
Yes. I haven't seen Life.
Okay.
But the stuff I have seen from it, I don't think it's that similar to that.
I know, it's just a look
and
vibe that the trailer can represent without giving away what's going on.
Right. Astronauts in space, they encounter something they're not supposed to, like that kind of thing. It's almost kind of like Alien. Like Alien, it's kind of like got that vibe to it, and this kind of takes from that a little bit as well. Not to say that there's aliens in it or anything like that, but there's definitely some like things that can go wrong or whatever.
Tim, there's a hand crawling around on its own.
Oh,
that's in the trailer.
That is perfectly explained, sir.
Oh, it better be.
It's actually pretty good. I have to say, like, if you saw the trailer with like the hand is like crawling down the hallway, that is probably singly like it's funny and also horrifying at the same time, but it makes sense once you kind of like see the movie. There's a bunch of other stuff that happens that's crazy, but I have to say definitely worth watching. There's a person, like, I can't get too much into like what happens, but there's some deaths in it that I'm just like, you don't even think about like how that could happen, but then you're just like, oh, of course, because you're on a space station, stuff happens like that you don't really expect, and like it's completely horrifying.
I hope they disappear behind a sheet and then explode for no reason, and they never talk about it again.
Well, I don't think they do that, but there's definitely some odd stuff going on, and you'll see when you actually watch the movie. But definitely worth watching. I'd give it like maybe like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. But I get why like some people are like up in arms about it. Some people are happy about it. I don't know. Like there's a lot of talk right now about that. But it's
I'm hoping it explains what fell out of the sky in the first movie.
Yes. I don't really want to say.
I know.
I really don't want to say.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
How about the fact that the 10 years, they decide finally to say what that is? Well, 4 years after it, they wanted to.
Yeah. But I'd say definitely watch it all the way to the end.
Because that's not... Oh, is there an after credits thing?
I'm trying to think if it's after credits. There might be something after credits, but it might be right before the credits roll.
Oh, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Don't skip anything.
TJ Miller's back.
Just when you think... Yes, TJ Miller, like, he comes back, he's like, hey, guys, I didn't die.
Hud, welcome back, Hud.
Yeah. But, yeah, it definitely explains what's a lot of the stuff that happens and what's going on. But, so Cloverfield, I'd say watch it. And probably next week, we'll talk about it since you'll have watched it probably by then, and we'll give you your full review.
We could probably do a spoiler bit on that.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about everything, right?
Yeah. So next week we'll have some spoilers about Cloverfield. Probably by next week everybody will have one who wanted to watch it, I'll have watched it.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a Cloverfield canon cast.
Right. So, speaking of things in a series.
Things that have been in a series for a long time.
Yes.
That Bob never understood.
That's right.
There we go. Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yes.
Came out. And I don't watch Dragon Ball.
And I have.
Tim has watched Dragon Ball. But Tim has not played the game.
I've not played the game. I've played Dragon Ball games, though.
Okay.
I played, I'm trying to think which ones they're called, but definitely there was one for the PlayStation 2 that I played that I somehow was very good at. I don't really understand how, but at mashing buttons in a certain sequence, I was actually pretty good at a certain fighter.
Doing combos.
Yes.
You call that.
Yeah.
So that's probably Budokai?
I think it was. I would think it was one of the first Budokais because I think they did like several of the Budokais.
Oh yeah, there's a Budokai HD collection on.
Oh yeah,
another remaster.
Yeah, which I don't know why Budokai, because there's no Dragon Ball Z Budokai series. I don't think.
I don't think any of them are named after the series though. Xenoverse is one of them.
I think
Tenkaichi.
there was an original Dragon Ball game. Way back in the day.
Maybe.
Because the original series was just about this weird little kid with a tail who had like a staff rod that would extend for as long as he would want it to. It's like a weird... yeah. If you ever see the original Dragon Ball, it was about like the adventures of this kid with this other lady who was he was just like a weird, like goofy looking guy. He had a tail. He could turn into a giant monster in the full moon. It was like...
He was a werewolf?
Yeah, well, no, not a werewolf. He turned into like a giant monster, like a King Kong-sized monster.
He was a werekaiju?
Yeah. It was, and that's gone into Dragon Ball Z. They had that thing where if you don't cut off their tails, they can turn into these giant monsters. The Saiyans.
Okay.
So...
Are you just saying that?
I am just saying that. Super Saiyan that.
Nice.
But yeah. But they've kind of gone away from that. It's really more about fighting and becoming so powerful you can like destroy planets and universes and all crazy stuff. But
cool.
Yeah. So, but what did you think about the fighter?
It's perfectly good. It's a really good, solid 2D fighting game. I was saying earlier, it's the Marvel vs. Capcom that I wanted.
Okay.
But with the characters that I don't know or understand.
Right. But what was disappointing about Marvel vs. Capcom?
Well, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the newest one.
Okay.
They changed it. It used to be 3-on-3.
Okay.
It used to have cool, iconic characters. Like, when you played a Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Who do you want to play as? Just think off the top of your head.
I want Spider-Man, I want Wolverine, I want Storm.
Okay. Good luck. No X-Men.
No X-Men.
It's all Marvel Cinematic Universe.
But that's weird because they own the rights to the X-Men characters,
right?
In game form,
but they don't make money on the movies, or they didn't at the publication of the game stuff,
right?
So why would they push those characters? It's the same reason they killed Wolverine in the comics, right?
Oh, he's back.
Well, I know, but they killed him before, and the same reason they kind of killed off the Fantastic Four, and anything they weren't making money on, they were like, no, go to hell.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They made it 2-on-2, which I don't know why. And they added in these stones that completely affect gameplay. So the Infinity Stones.
Gems.
Well, they call them stones.
Yeah, I know they call them stones.
There's like one that traps you in a box. You literally can't leave the box when somebody uses that ability mid-fight.
And
so they can just mess you up, but you can't get out of it. You can block. Or there's another one that resurrects a dead teammate that you had.
Okay.
Just brings it back.
All right.
It's really dumb. The fighting's solid. The character models are trash. Like, they're bad. The game was rushed.
Which, I don't understand why they wanted to rush that out. It seems
Why? Because they want to make money.
Yeah, but you could do a good 2D fighter.
Are you saying developing a good 2D fighter is a good idea?
Yeah, and not exactly that.
Which brings us to Dragon Ball FighterZ.
All right.
Because it's a good 2D fighter, and it's 3-on-3.
Right.
and it plays really well, and I have no idea who the people are. So I just picked the biggest freaks I could find.
Which there's a lot. There's a lot of weird characters. There's androids. There's aliens.
Oh, there are android numbers.
Weird mystical guys from
there's
the
a
Land
Catman.
of the Dead. Yeah.
There's a Catman. I played as him a few times.
Okay.
It's a fun game. It's really well made. It's easy to pick up and play. The netcode needed work at launch, but now it seems okay.
Okay.
And it does this really cool thing where it drops you into a lobby, which is like the big thing to do now with games as a service. So whenever you start a game, you don't just start and go to story mode. You start the game, pick the server you want to go to.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of people there. And then you can go to story mode area of the map. You can go to the little house in the top left corner.
Okay.
You can go to versus. But the versus is local.
Oh, all right.
Which is weird. And if you want to challenge somebody, you set up a ring around your chibi you in the lobby. And you ask them if they want to fight, and they can say yes or no.
Oh, okay. Well, other than that, you can have discussions, or is it like
You
that?
just hang out that you can emote. You can't type what you want to say.
Okay.
There's like presets.
Okay. Can you use the headset? Can you talk to people?
I'm sure if you're in a party chat, which is what I do.
Okay.
Like if I'm going to play with friends, it's party chat.
Okay.
Because I am sick of being called names by 12-year-olds.
Nice.
The internet.
The internet, which is what it all is.
Anybody who's ever played on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, Call of Duty game.
Oh, yeah.
Or Grand Theft Auto. I guarantee you they know why you use party chat now. Those actions are the reason party chat was invented.
Right.
Because before that, you'd just be in a lobby and people would talk and you'd work together. And then all of a sudden it became, racism, sexism, and everybody was like yelling at somebody else. And all it really needed to be was teamwork to overcome the objective. And that's what they want.
Right.
But it'll never be that again because you need party chat because they create this sort of negative cloud.
Okay.
And nobody wants that, so you just party up with your friends.
Yeah.
But it also kind of ruins the aspect of having people group up together that you might not know and creating new friendships because, I don't know, like there's still people I game with.
Right.
That I started gaming with 10 years ago on like Splinter Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Probably even longer than 15 years ago on like Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Yeah. And that's crazy.
Because I remember you even talking about like you would play with certain guys in different time zones too. Like there's like
people in England
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'll still play with some of them, but I'll never see the people. I'll never really meet new people now.
Okay.
This way, and the only way to meet new people is to risk listening to nonsense. Or please, if you have Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, I guarantee you have this gripe, but if you're the problem, don't blast your music. Nobody cares.
Oh, they blast their music
through their music through their headset or through their mic. You have to hear it. And it's always bad music. It's never good music. It's never like
as a way to
punish.
Song. Is it a way to punish you, or is it just they think you want to listen? No, you want to listen to it.
It's not even that. It's probably just them being, I'm listening to good music, so it's good to me.
Right.
I'm not going to mute my mic. Why should I have to mute my mic? Because I'm inconveniencing everybody. They should have to go out of their way to mute me or ask me to stop. Only the problem is, what do we create? We create this toxic negativity cloud where instead of it's, could you please mute your volume, it's like, shut up, you idiot.
Okay.
And that's the problem with Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. I don't know how we got to that.
Well, we got to what you were talking about.
Chat?
Party chat.
Okay.
But back to the actual game, is the online play good?
The online play is better than it was at launch. It's good.
Okay.
There's a season pass for it with other fighters.
Cool.
I don't know who they are because I don't know who any of the fighters are. So if you're hyped about it,
I might have to play this game with you just to be like, okay, this is who this person is.
There's different forms of the same characters.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of a weird game where people kind of evolve. Like there's androids and like different stages to those androids, like they evolve into, as they become a better fighter or a stronger fighter, they evolve. Like I believe there's a character called Boo, and then he becomes, I think, Majin Buu.
Oh, he does. I call him Cherry Bomb.
Right.
Mine is red.
Right. But he's like a pink character. Like
no,
he starts out
started that way.
He starts out as somebody who's a little bit like a fatter, like
he's definitely wearing a diaper.
And then he becomes like this thin, like strong fighter or whatever, I think.
But he's not thin in this game.
Okay. And then there's Frieza. I remember that character. Frieza, who's very like a albino with like purple spots on him in certain places.
Okay.
And he actually has like a form which I think the first one he kind of looks like he has horns. Like he's pinkish. And then like when you see like his final form, it's like all white with like the purple, like
he's got a purple
dome and like purple shoulder pad kind of things, like spots of purple on his shoulders and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's the thing about this fighter. It's almost the same way that when you're a Saiyan, you look like normal, and then you go Super Saiyan and your hair turns yellow. You glow and you're all electrified. So it's like kind of like that. Like I know there's like probably that's what you found in the game. There's like different forms or whatever.
Oh, I did.
Or characters who can actually combine into new characters.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right. They can merge. Didn't even know that they could do that. And they become like
I didn't know that.
I know. They can become even more powerful characters. It's weird. It's a weird. That's kind of like when I think I checked out when I was like, they do like I forget what the thing is actually called, but it's like a merging or transformer, blah blah blah, and all three characters. I think it was like something like so they could beat one guy who was too powerful for any one of them.
Yeah, of course he was.
Let's
too
combine like Voltron into one character.
Form of a Saiyan.
Yes, but like a giant Saiyan.
A Super Saiyan.
A Super Saiyan.
Actually, I think from my my experience working where I work, I've learned that now they're up to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. And yes, you have to say it twice.
Oh, okay.
So it's SSGSS.
Oh, wow.
Goku. And he has, guess what color his hair is?
Blue.
That's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good guess.
Wow.
Blue, the color of the gods.
Oh, okay. Sure it is. But even though you don't know who the characters are, the fighting is good.
The fighting is solid. The game is great. But I've played fighting games that I don't know anything about the characters before from these developers, actually, because it's Arc System Works.
Yeah.
So BlazBlue.
BlazBlue is great.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I like the fighting. And the same thing with Guilty Gear.
Yes.
Really solid fighting mechanics. Characters play differently enough that it's really cool to try them out.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if I'll play this a month from now because the Turtles come out in Injustice 2 later this month.
That's right.
And I'm going to be back on that.
And they've been showing more and more stuff from it, and it looks fantastic.
It does.
I love the parts where it's like you're fighting as Donnie and you call in Leo, or you're fighting as Raph and you call in Mikey. It's like...
How about when you're fighting as Mikey and you call in a pizza?
That's right.
And you can just heal with it.
Yes.
I think you're healing. Or you're charging your meter.
That's right.
Or you can just throw it in the guy's face.
Right.
Which it will be happening.
But I love there's a video up now that's the Turtles versus Hellboy, which I'm just like, it's just so awesome. I'm just like, it's like two great tastes taste great together. That's why it's a peanut butter cup.
To be continued with them.
Yeah. And, we'll talk some more Turtle stuff later. But besides that, you've been playing Shadow of the Colossus?
I have.
The remastered edition.
Yes, for the second time. I rented it, I think, the first time. I don't think I ever owned it.
Okay.
On PS2, because this game is old.
Yeah.
It's very old. But it looks beautiful.
Yeah, all their games always do.
I don't think I'm on board with the same excuse that they always seem to have, which is, hey, it's an animal, you shouldn't be able to control it. Sometimes it does what it wants to.
Right.
Make the horse go where I ask it to go.
Oh, you have.
developers.
Oh, that seems kind of weird. I don't remember the horse ever having any problems.
He has pathing issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is fine because you could just get off the horse.
Right.
But it's a pain because then you've got to like move forward and it goes slow. Like your character's not very fast.
No, you can run, but not really.
But the epic skill of the Colossus
Yeah.
is great. The story, telling a story minimally
Mm-hmm.
is always good for me. Like I like minimalist story in games, and it's beautiful art direction. The music is phenomenal.
Yes.
The fighting mechanics are pretty solid. The glitches are still existent.
Really?
Yeah, like your character looks ridiculous when a Colossus or Colossi
Right.
is shaking his arm and you're on it and you're like flipping back and forth.
Yes. Okay.
No way.
Okay.
It looks great, but it's not meant to look like that, I'm sure.
No, not at all. From what I remember, the original game it's fun. It's very original. Like, just like, can't think of anything that was close to this at the time. But I noticed, like, a lot of games started to adapt things like this in it. Like, even God of War, like, giant monsters. I think they even added more giant monsters as, like they were like, oh, people, like, love this idea kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that was before 3.
Yes. And 3 had, like, I think a few of them.
Oh, well, 3 was the Titans.
Yeah.
And what was the coolest part? Is climbing the Titans and going to the boss fight at the end.
Right.
But the issue I think they have with this game is that it looks, and might have even then looked better than Last Guardian, which is the problem.
Right. Because I think Last Guardian, like, I can't even think of how long they've been developing that game.
Since just after this one was made.
Right. And I think they always knew that this was going to be, like, their end game, because it kind of is like a trilogy, like Ico, or Ico.
I think it's Ico.
Ico.
Ico all day.
Right. Ico is kind of, like, weirdly a prequel to Shadow of the Colossus, and then I think Last Guardian is kind of like the sequel to Ico. Like, it is like the last, like, part of the story or whatever.
The problem I have with Last Guardian, though, is that while cel shading can look good, it that game looks very unnatural.
Yes.
The Trico, I think is the name of the monster, the Guardian.
Okay.
Trico looks very animal-like.
Yes.
But your character looks very cartoony.
Yeah.
And it's jarring, and the landscape doesn't look like cel-shaded.
Right.
Nothing looks like it fits with the other. It almost looks like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where Roger Rabbit is just there in a seedy bar.
You're right. And he doesn't look like he belongs there at all.
No, and he looks like he's been drawn on there.
Yeah.
Or Cool World. Any of that.
Yeah.
It just feels wrong. And it didn't look that great. And the Trico wouldn't listen to what you wanted it to do. Like, it was definitely worse with that. This, they've had time to repair it, and it's not even the same. It's not Team Ico that made this one.
Right.
The remake from 2018 of Shadow of the Colossus was made by Bluepoint and Sony Japan. But, no.
Yeah.
They just fix the horse. Just get the guys from The Witcher. Like, hire them for, like, a weekend, and I guarantee you they can program the horse to walk forward.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I don't remember there being any problems with the horse.
Oh, he catches on everything.
On the original game, yeah, nothing. I don't remember that at all.
Okay. Maybe it was just since the PS3. Maybe it is the Bluepoint guys that have that issue.
Yeah. Because the thing about what I always thought was amazing about, I think even Ico or Shadow of the Colossus, once the game had loaded, that was it. Like, there was never any load screens or anything, like nothing. Even if after, like, a save point or whatever, there would never be, like, another time that, like, you could jump from the top of the tower to the bottom of the gorge or whatever, there would never be any delays, like no delays in loading the areas. And Shadow of the Colossus is a very large area, and you could run your horse at like full speed in any direction, and there would never be any like delays in like load times. Like they very much had their wireframing mechanics for like how their stuff worked, like very worked out well, which is probably why it took them a long time to make their games. They're very complex games, but they've found a way to make it in a way that they don't have to try to, like, this is kind of like a weird developers kind of thing where the codes interact in a way that it won't be glitchy. Like you don't have to worry about things running into each other or having to load up to another section because it's going to slow the game down if they have to, have that other section like ready to go. Like they developed it in such a way that they could, you can run from one section to another and you don't have to worry about that. They used to have that in the Grand Theft Auto. Like once you entered a new city, sometimes it would have to load up that city, like for like a minute, and you just had like a maybe a 2-minute load screen or whatever, and then you were in that city, which was always kind of a little bit like slowed down the gameplay a little bit. But that's what I really remember from like those Shadow Colossus games was there was never any load times. It was just like everything was always going. And
the environment is the environment for the entire game.
Right.
You go to different areas, you encounter different Colossuses.
Colossi?
Colossi.
Is it Colossi?
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
Yeah.
The Mother Dragon shows up.
Yeah,
which
you encounter her multiple times.
That's
she's
right.
Always slightly different. Sometimes she's a brunette.
That's right. Sometimes she has white hair.
Yep.
And she's being lorded over by a Shadow Queen.
Oh, don't spoil anything. But yeah, I see what you mean. Dark Souls did the same thing.
Right.
It's like an entirely mapped out area you can go to anywhere at any point.
Right.
No loading.
Right.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially on PS2. I can't think of many games that didn't have long loading times on PS2.
Especially something that's really kind of open world.
And the cool thing about Shadow of the Colossus is every time you beat one, you get transported back
to the beginning point.
Yes.
Right.
So you're never trying to find your way back to
the, yeah.
Although
it does give you a very simple guiding thing. Like it gives you like if you hold your sword up and it gives you like a light shines in the
to the next monster?
To the next Colossus.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you do.
I don't want to brag, but I've only played a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Beaten 6.
Oh wow, 6?
Out of 16, I think it is.
Is it 16? I thought it was like 20 or something.
I think 16.
Is it 16?
It doesn't matter. They're all going to die. And then I'm finally going to see the end of this game, which is...
Oh, you've never seen the end?
I've never beaten it. Like, I told you, I rented it. I probably beat 2 of the monsters, and I was probably like, what is this? What is this sadness?
Okay.
I don't want to deal with sadness.
Well, did you beat Ico?
No.
Okay.
I've never even played Ico.
Oh, really?
Nope.
You could probably play this one, and if you felt like it, play Ico, and you totally get what happens.
Wait for the $40 remaster that I'm sure will come out in a few
sure
years.
They're going to do that. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is always good. It's like I've seen, like if you've seen any of the footage from the game, the textures, the stuff they've added to it, it's beautiful. Like the graphics are like off the chart. They definitely do a good job on it.
Speaking of things that look good,
is this something that looks good to you?
No, but it used to. It
Yeah.
used to look just fine.
And honestly, it's been through a lot of different art styles.
It has. I think even when they changed for the CG movie,
Mm-hmm.
the look of the sensei,
Yes.
it still didn't look like whatever this is.
Yes. So last week the internet broke because there was some early images for Nickelodeon's new Ninja Turtles cartoon they're coming out with, which I guess they are finished with the CG version, which everybody seemed to like. My nieces and nephews love the Turtles. Much more than the Michael Bay versions that came out. Um, and this one, I think they definitely went closer to somewhat what the comics stuff did, but
What?
not as violent. They definitely made it a little more kid friendly, but they didn't really change it like this one looks like. They really, I guess their thinking is like, let's really shake it up and do something really different.
Ridiculous.
Yes. So, first thing is, it looks like it's called The Rise of the Ninja Turtles.
Of course, because that's the big name right now.
Yes.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
Rise of the Ninja Turtles.
Rise.
Rise, Son of Rome.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yep, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. But
I think it will be the death of the Ninja Turtles
I don't think so.
for this time period. I think you'll see it come back in a few years when
Yeah.
they go back to... Maybe they'll just show the old cartoons. Hey, Nickelodeon, why don't you just do that? Did we not already talk about this with DuckTales?
That's right.
But Tim liked the look of DuckTales.
It looked like the original DuckTales comic strip.
What?
Anything
Does
was-
this look like the original comic? It's
No.
closer to the comic.
I beg to differ.
Would you say April is closer to the comic than
All right.
the 80s
April, yes. April, definitely
It's
is
exactly
closer.
what you asked
Not
for.
as young, but
she looks like a 12-year-old.
yeah. They're definitely going for something that, like, they might be teenagers, but, like, they just turned. Like, they might be 13.
Not Raphael.
Not
Size
Raphael,
of a
who's...
linebacker.
Yes, they've changed the story a little bit where Raphael is going to be the leader now, which I don't know what Leonardo's thing is going to be. It used to be Raphael was the hot-headed, guy in the
He's
back.
the rebel.
Yeah. And Leonardo was kind of like the stoic leader. And, Donatello was the genius. Michelangelo was kind of like the fun one. They kind of kept that the same, but I'm guessing it looks like they're just like, hey, Leonardo's like just a ninja with an electric sword. One sword.
One electric sword.
Yeah.
What does Raphael have?
He has like a staff and what looks like a drone pack that April rides on.
No, that's Donnie.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Raphael.
Donatello
has a scepter.
Yes. Like he's magic. But we
He might be.
No,
Maybe it's
like
the
technology.
Magigen instead of the Mutagen.
No.
You don't know?
Oh, but Raphael has billy clubs.
He does, and he has... What is he wearing on his head?
Like a bandana.
Just like the Michael Bay film.
Yes.
Which is not good.
No.
And Michelangelo appears to have tattoos. They all seem to.
Yeah.
Or war paint.
Yeah, some sort of weird thing. I mean, this is probably weirder than the version where they went to the future.
But at least he's got his nunchucks.
Yes. Kind of. It looks more like a yo-yo mace of some type.
Electric yo-yo mace.
Yes. Which...
Who's an amazing cellist?
He's a cellist?
Violinist?
Who is?
Yo-yo mace?
Yo-yo mace? That would be a cellist.
Okay, I was right the first
Yo-yo
time.
ma's a cellist.
No, mace. Yo-yo mace.
Yo-yo mace? Okay. If they make it where Michelangelo plays a cello in this.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going with it. I'm guessing they're just trying to make it look, or have them be even younger, I guess, than the previous versions.
I guess you can't stab somebody, but you can electrocute them?
Yeah. I'm guessing it's like, we can stun people. And honestly, if the foot soldiers are robots, like, why not just have them have regular weapons?
Well, that's the thing. They did at the beginning of the original show, and then they took that out.
Yeah, slowly.
I don't know if they'll ever do that again.
Yeah. That was definitely so they could slash up some robots and...
Yeah, if you were a kid and you stabbed somebody because a Ninja Turtle did,
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't have done that.
Yes.
All right? It's not their fault.
Yeah.
Talk to your parents.
That was definitely when they did the second movie.
They didn't use their weapons once in the second movie?
No, only Donnie could use his weapons.
I don't think he even did.
No, he did. But, like, everybody else pretty much used, like,
deli meats.
Food. Yeah. Deli meats, chairs, like, anything they could, throwing pizza at them. But not that original movie where the foot soldiers were regular guys and were getting stabbed and beaten. Like, they had no blood, but still.
A little too rough.
That's right. But I don't know. I don't know where this one's gonna go. I don't know what, like. It doesn't seem like it's really taken, like. I mean, they're using electric weapons. It's not very ninja-like, but
Their shells appear to come off, maybe?
yeah, it's very weird. Like, I don't understand. It looks like Raph has spikes on him, almost like he's like a Slash or something like that. And all the rest of the turtles are kind of smaller size, and
Yeah.
Raph's a little bit thicker.
He looks like Big Daddy. He does, from Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
From the
Yeah.
comic.
from the comic.
Like, he's giant.
Yeah,
And then that could just be perspective, but even then, like, his body type is giant compared to them. They're, like, very thin and angular. They look like, what's that show again? I just said it before. The Cartoon Network one. Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, the design looks like it. I wonder if that guy was involved in the design.
I don't think it would be strictly him, but maybe somebody who worked on that show. Maybe one of the art directors from there. Maybe
Because it's also, didn't they do the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon?
they did.
And you can tell because it's that design.
Yeah, it does have a kind of like a similar to Samurai Jack, but also a little bit different than that. I mean, it's close to that, but it's a little bit different.
And we haven't talked about the elephant in the room.
Splinter?
What?
Yeah, he's a very angry looking rat.
He's
doesn't-
pretty upset.
He is not stoic at all. I don't know. They haven't shown the foot soldiers. They haven't shown Shredder.
But they might not even be in it.
They might not
They
be
might
in
just
it.
fight other yo-yo mace people.
That's right. Or maybe they're just gonna clean up the streets of New York.
I hope they just fight only other villains from the original cartoon, but no Shredder.
That would be like Krang shows up.
Not even Krang. Like, none of the mains. So no Bebop, Rocksteady, or Krang. Instead, they just fight the Rat King
Oh man.
for like 6 episodes.
And Baxter Stockman
And Baxter Stockman
as a fly.
as a fly. Who else, man? There were a lot.
The Mousers.
What would the Mousers even look like?
I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it, but hopefully it's
They
good.
fly. They need to fly somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see a turtle van or anything. So we'll
It's
see.
not hip to drive a turtle van.
That's right. We'll see where it goes. I definitely want to see some more animation from it rather than just pictures and really get like a sense of like what the art style is. I mean, this kind of is just like basic stuff right now, but you never know. It could be good, could be bad. But right now, I just don't know where they're going with it. But I guess they're definitely trying to shake it up. They're trying to do something different. And speaking of different things coming out, this is our day before pre-Black Panther movie.
Yep.
So very excited. Tomorrow
Maximum hype.
That's right. I've kind of stopped watching like anything that has to do with like, you know, what's going on or what the art director thinks or interviews with the cast. I've kind of like, I want to go in a little bit cold. I've kind of like, you know, weaned myself off the hype train for a little while. I'm still excited for it, but I want to go in kind of like fresh face. You know, this is what was the last movie before this? Thor Ragnarok?
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
Which is I imagine a very different movie than what this is going to be. But
I don't know. This could be super funny and goofy,
it could be.
but there's not one thing in the trailers that implies that.
Yeah. There's like little jokes, but not really like a lot. There's a lot of like Andy Serkis being funny.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, I'm glad Andy Serkis got to play this character. I think he's kind of perfect for it. Especially what I remember from Age of Ultron. Like the whole thing where he's talking about pufferfish and how terrifying they are to him.
He's good.
He's good. I think he's going to be a good fit for this series. And maybe a good villain that they don't kill off right away for Marvel. It seems
that would
like
be strange for them to not kill him right away.
Because it's like they had good. They had Loki for a while, and then he kind of like he's a little bit different now. Um, and I can't remember the other villains. Like Ultron was gone.
None of them were as iconic as they
Yeah,
could be or should be within the series. Let's
yeah,
put it that way. They should be background jerks,
yeah.
but they never want to have that, I guess, in their movies.
Yeah. Well,
their background jerk right now is Thanos, right? So,
right.
and whatever he's bringing with him. You know more about that stuff than I do.
Right.
I know they showed that trailer.
No, the Infinity War trailer. And Black Panther being in it.
Yeah, so, spoiler, I guess he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Unless this is a prequel.
Exactly. So I'm just kind of like, well, all right. Well, what's the story going to be that's going to be like have any stakes? But it'll be interesting to kind of see where they go, because this will be
Ant-Man doesn't die in this either. He doesn't die in Black Panther. Because his movie's not out yet.
That's right. Yeah, we saw the trailer for that. Watch out for giant Hello Kitty Pez dispensers.
It looks very cool.
Yes, I'm excited for that. And but this one, I love the Black Panther, so I'm interested to see. I was hyped when in the 90s, they were going to do a version of it with Wesley Snipes. They were going to do a Black Panther movie, which I guess fell apart, and eventually he went and did Blade, but I would have loved to have seen like what that would have been. It would probably be something completely different.
Would it have been an R-rated Black Panther movie?
It might have been an R-rated Black Panther.
At that time, they were willing to do Blade.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know if you could ever have had the movies we have now without some people ice skating uphill.
Yes.
No, the first Blade was a lot of fun, and I think that kind of restarted comics.
It actually, not a lot of people know this, but, people know this, but when Marvel filed for bankruptcy, because a lot of people don't remember, for a long time, or for a little while, there was a whole big thing with the speculator market in the 90s, and then, like, just this bubble just burst, where, like, everybody was kind of, like, taking a big hit, but where, I guess, Marvel kind of, like, overreached itself and, like, started to lose money. Blade was the thing that saved their movie studio at the time. If Blade had failed as a commercial movie, that would have been pretty much it for like Marvel Cinematic anything for like a long time. And Blade kind of kept it going. I mean, even I remember Guillermo del Toro, who made the second Blade movie, talked about they sold everything that was from the first movie, so he had to go online and buy back the original vest that he wore, like I think the coat. I think he had to buy some of the guns back. Like all that movie prop stuff was sold online, so he had to go back and buy some of the original stuff for like the flashback scenes for like the movie.
You had to buy Whistler.
Yeah, I had to buy Whistler back. But
Whistler, who I think died in all three.
No, I think he died in the...
He died in the first, he came back in the second, and then he was in the third and died again.
Yeah, died in the third.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. For a movie that's several years old.
So what you're saying is that Ryan Reynolds single-handedly responsible for bringing back comic book movies.
That's right.
For Blade Trinity.
Yes. No.
I wonder if his character will meet his other character. Because they're both Marvel.
Hannibal King?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That would be awesome.
I'd actually like to see it if they had him as the character was, I think, supposed to be like the son of Dracula or something like that. Or
Oh, well, he wasn't. No, he was Dracula in Blade 3, right?
Yeah.
He was just straight up Dracula.
It was like some guy who was a Dracula.
You know who that was, right?
Was it Batista?
No, it was that other guy from Prison Break that we talked about.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Primeval.
Yeah, the guy from Legends.
Yeah.
DC Legends, yeah. He plays Heatwave.
Okay.
Bob is just nodding along. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about with your
Yeah,
DC TV
he's
show.
from Legends of Tomorrow.
I don't watch
know.
your CW Shirtless Boy Network.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, I think they call it, right?
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
He plays the idol that speaks to all the contestants right before they go out.
I thought he was the Blue Yeti or whatever their team names were. I don't remember.
I totally don't remember at all.
Legends of the Hidden
Blade.
Temple.
Yeah. Blade.
So Blade.
Yes.
Black Panther looks amazing.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Blade cameos.
I think they could do another, Wesley Snipes could come back and do another Blade.
I have no problem with it.
Or honestly, give him a Netflix show. I would see, they tried to do a Blade TV series, but I don't think it really had the budget for it. And I think they didn't really go as R-rated as they could, but Netflix, you could definitely go as R-rated as you want to. I mean, saw The Punisher. I think that was, they didn't shy away from anything in that.
Yeah.
Beating people with hammers.
Toasters.
Stabbing them. Oh,
a lot of death.
You finished that
I
now.
haven't finished it.
Oh man.
No.
You're more. There's more stuff that is beaten and bloodied in that show.
I'm gonna have to. I'll get there.
Oh, you will.
It'll happen someday.
Right after you watch Cloverfield Paradox.
But that's next.
Right.
I might go home tonight and watch it.
All right. Well, then we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
right before we watch while we're waiting in line to get in to see Black Panther.
That's true. I could spoil it for everybody in line. I'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe the whole time it was Snoopy.
Snoopy.
I don't know why. That would be amazing.
Well, if
the Red Baron.
The Red Baron, was flying outside the space shuttle.
He caused everything.
Oh, Snoopy. Snoopy, come home.
Stupid scarf.
Snoopy, come home. Yeah.
Snoopy got caught in the particle accelerator, and now look what happened. But you need to see Life, or as I like to call it, the unofficial prequel to Venom.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, it's not, but it might as well be.
All right, I'll definitely have to check it out. I like all the actors in it.
Yeah,
so
Deadpool's in that too.
Deadpool, Donnie Darko.
Deadpool, Donnie Darko, and some other people.
That's right.
Donnie Yen is not in it.
Donnie Yen is not in it. Which he's going to be in his own movie series soon. Yeah,
well, just one. Unless they decide to do another. Hopefully this will spawn another game, because that game was great.
Right.
He's playing Wei Shen in Sleeping Dogs. For the people that didn't know that.
That's right. See how they...
Because we know Square Enix games made into movies always turn out great.
Well, yeah.
Because the first two Tomb Raiders and Hitman...
What was
Hitman 2?
Was it? It wasn't Square Enix originally for Tomb Raider, though, right?
Crystal Dynamics,
right?
But
now it is.
Yeah, and
that's where the new Tomb Raider is coming from.
Yep, and then on top of that, it's also they're also responsible for every Final Fantasy movie.
Yeah,
think about that, people. So don't get your hype levels too high for Donnie Yen.
Okay, well, you never, because a lot of people were down on Advent Children, but that one they did for, what was it, Final Fantasy versus 13?
Something.
Yeah. Or 13, or is it Final
15.
Fantasy? 15? Okay. It used to be called Final Fantasy versus 13.
Versus 13, and then instead they went with Lightning.
Right.
For 13.
For number
13, 2, and then 13, 3.
Right.
Lightning Returns.
Right.
And then they went to 14, which was an MMO.
Right.
And 15. Just so you know.
Yes.
All that happened.
But Sean Bean is in the movie.
If
you see the dub version.
Sean Bean.
That's right.
Does he play the father?
No, he plays 006. They combine it with James Bond.
That would be awesome. If we're talking about Advent Children or the 15 movie?
The 15 movie.
Okay.
He plays, I think, the king in this one city that's like a future city.
I hope one of the characters is named... Well, he could just say, for England, Noctis.
For England.
No king. from me. Oh, GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah.
God, just make that over again. How about you spend the money and remake that the exact same way?
The game?
Yeah, just put GoldenEye on a platform I can play it on now, without the worst controller known to man, known as this Nintendo 64 controller.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah.
That was pretty bad.
It was a bad controller. It was a weird, like, 3-pronged controller.
We get it, Nintendo, you're original. You're original. We get it.
Yeah.
Just stop. Ever heard of ergonomics?
Yeah, well, we'll see. But who knows? They might do another James Bond shooter or whatever.
Oh, they will, but they won't have that game.
Yes.
Ever again.
No.
Because they've remade GoldenEye. They've made sequels to GoldenEye and remade GoldenEye, and it's never been the same. My favorite was when they were like, we'll make the new GoldenEye. We'll call it Reloaded.
And
we're going to say, you know what? Daniel Craig James Bond's a lot different than Pierce Brosnan James Bond. So let's put Daniel Craig James Bond in GoldenEye. And what would he do in this situation? Well, he's blow everything up and punch everything, I guess.
yes.
So that became the game, as opposed to what it was, which was, a lot of it was stealth-based.
Yeah.
Sneaking around levels. I don't even know if there's a silencer in GoldenEye Reloaded. There probably is. But it doesn't matter, because the game's not good.
Well, they've always had a weird track record with their games. Like, I remember Nightfire, which...
Nightfire. The one with, what was it? Was that the one with an actual actress playing the Bond girl?
I think so.
Shannon Elizabeth, was it?
It might have been. I think it was actually Shannon Elizabeth, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had Agent Under Fire, not to be confused with that.
Right.
Just,
don't worry, we'll be talking James Bond soon because
we could do a whole episode about James Bond games.
Yeah, because I don't know when they're going to start making the new James Bond, but it's 25 is definitely coming.
Daniel Craig will have to still be alive.
I know.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, but definitely we are going to be reviewing Black Panther next week.
Yep.
We will have a big old talk about it.
We can talk about Cloverfield Paradox because I will have finished it.
Yeah, we'll do Will be a spoiler alert podcast for both those movies.
Yeah, we can do it. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, we'll just make that one a spoiler episode.
Yeah, we'll definitely tell you all about like what's going on. So, catch us. And very soon I will have the Jaeger that Bob and I designed up online.
I'm excited.
Plus, we might be doing some contributing to a horror anthology, maybe, like a comic that's coming out. We'll let you know with that stuff when it happens. But you can catch us on our Twitter account at...
Oh, it's MARTON_Bob. I should change it so people can just spell it wrong and still be right.
And you can find me on the Instagram at Tim Martinek on Instagram. And our YouTube channel, which is Precarious Pixels.
Yes.
That's right. And
watch
of course,
the videos.
Exactly. Videos of a podcast.
I know. You can animate it yourself.
That's right. If you want to take the audio and animate it yourself, that's fine. And
please
of course,
make silly clips.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
And I'm still hoping to see some of those kaiju that people design.
Oh, really? And on iTunes, you can find us on there as well as Spreaker and on shoot, I forgot the other one.
iTunes, Spreaker, YouTube, and
man, I'm blanking today.
In your ears right now is the last place.
But yeah, definitely those ones. Spreaker, iTunes, give us a review, and of course do some designing with us. So next week we'll be all Black Panthered out, and we'll tell you what's going on with it.
Yep.
All right. So see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Drink Slusho.
Drink Slusho. To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIM MARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.